Welcome to Why Not Us podcast. It is Tuesday, so you already know what today is Treasure Tuesdays. So we have Carole Hart with us, of course, and she will be talking about college planning. How are you doing today, sis?
I am fantastic, Miss KJ. Couldn't be better. You wake up on the right side of the soil, you already winning.
Yes,
You're
yes,
already winning. I am
yes,
grateful. I've had my workout, got my little dinner going in the oven. People say dinner's early, but that's okay. I got a plan today. And so I'm good. I'm just always excited to be here.
yes, most
This
definitely.
this this topic is one of my favorites for a few reasons. So just so the audience knows, we're going to be talking about college planning. And you know that I'm your financial lady, the guru of financial literacy. And this is one of my favorite topics, KJ, because my kids are now 31 and 26, the ones I birthed and fed from my bosom. And they didn't pay a penny for college because of the journey that I was able to create, along with some nuggets of information and how to acquire money for college. And I turned that into a business after I was encouraged by multiple people. So what would happen is I might be like kicking it at a barbecue or sitting at the park talking to people about money for college. And I would just drop little nuggets on them and they said, I never knew that. No one ever told us that. How come we don't know about that? You should make that into like a workshop or a business. And I kind of waited for a while until one day I did it at UCLA, and enough people said you need to turn it into a business. So let me just give you a couple of nuggets. Clearly, you're not going to get everything on this podcast. KJ and I like to kind of call this our time to share, and I call it my commercial of opportunity. But there's two things I want to talk about. One is that the traditional way that people plan for college for their kids is they try to save money in a bank or a credit union. That is never going to work unless you just have a whole bunch of money. And if you got a whole bunch of money, you probably don't need to worry about saving it anyway. You'll just be able to write a check when that time comes. But for the normal parent or guardian in our community, their goal is I'm going to save about $200 a month. I'm going to put it in the bank. And when time comes for college, we'll be ready. Well, that's setting up for failure for a couple of reasons. One, you don't get any money on your money in the bank. That's one. Two, $200 a month isn't going to keep up with the inflation of the cost of college. So if you did the math, $200 a month, that's $2,400 a year. And if most people, even though their intentions is to start when the kids are 1 or 2, they really don't start till they're about 10. Yeah, and they don't start before they're 10 because it's expensive to have kids. So when they're at 1 and 2 and 3, and you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna be saving money, your money's going for diapers, food, daycare, clothing, maybe medical care. So all these expenses you haven't thought about supersede college because you say, oh, that's not to like 15, 16 years from now. But that time goes really quickly. You and I both know. So I'm here to let you know that I have accounts set up where you can save money for college and get compound interest on your money. There is no requirement other than you got to qualify. And if your little baby got a social security number, they can pretty much qualify. So it changes everything. If you could save $200 to $300 per month and make 8% on that money, maybe even 9%, that is going to put you in position. So now you got money for college. That's one. The other thing that people do is they will walk into a bank and they'll say, I want to save money for little Kendra. My daughter's going to go to college one day. I want to do this. And they say, that's awesome. Let's set you up for a 529 account. So let me tell you about a 529 account. Banks do this all day long. A 529 is specifically set up to save money for college. Not a bad thing, however, that has some serious restrictions. One, what if Kendra decided when she grew up, and your mother been saving this 529 all these years, she started when you were 2 years old, now here you are 18, and you decide, you know what? I don't want to go to college. I don't want to go. I'm going to start my own podcast. I'm going to live my best life. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I don't need the structure and the demands nor the expense of college. Well, all that money in a 529 cannot be used for anything other than college. That's a big restriction. What if your kid gets an athletic scholarship? What if your child decides to be a Broadway movie star? We don't know how we're going to be blessed with our gifts and our talents. So putting money in an account that can only be used for college is dangerous, because what if the kid wants to do something else? The other hindrance to a 529 is that when it's time to fill out that FAFSA, where you have to disclose what the income is, your parents' taxes, you got to tell them every penny that's in that 529, because they consider that income. So if your mama has saved $20,000 in a 529 and her income is basically 80,000 a year, she got to add that 20,000 to the 80,000. Now her income's 100,000, which means now Kendra is eligible for less money because your mama got too much money. That in itself is not a great program. It also, depending on how it's set up, could be tied to the market, so it could be volatile. I've had clients say they'd been saving money, but they did not know at the time. That's why financial literacy is so important, to understand how things work. Just being know how to ask the right questions. They didn't know that when they were saving that money every year, that it was tied to the market. So that means that years it was going up and down, up and down, up and down. And sometimes it was down longer than it was up. And so now they're thinking they've got X amount of money saved and they go to get it and they don't have it. So the program that I can offer, no, there's no tie to the market. So there's no up and down. You only make money, you never lose money. That's golden. You're going to get about 8 to 9% every year. If the kid decides they don't want to go to college, no problem. That's still the money. They can use it to open up a business, buy their equipment if they want to be a DJ, buy a villa in France because they're going to be a pastry chef. That money can be used for anything. And that's the way it should be. It's your money. Why are we getting restriction on your money? So that's the first thing about college planning. And my granddaughter has one. I'm having an appointment with a lady today. My goal is that everybody get their kid one of these as soon as possible. And literally, this is what the wealthy do, Kendra. The wealthy out the gate get a social security number, because that's how you identify as an individual. They can get that normally after a day or two after being born. By the time it gets through snail mail, you probably have it and they're like 15 days old. That's all you need to open
Wow.
an account. That's all you need is open an account. That's it.
That's that
And
that right there. Like
it's
I'm
a
just
game
listening.
changer.
Yes, it is a game. Listen, the people that's listening that has kids that will be going to college, y'all make sure y'all hit Carole Hart up. She
Yeah,
dropping these gems and she can help you out.
and you want to start these college plans. You want to start. I call it college planning just because that's the topic, but it can be used for anything. So show you how smart my son is. When he looked at it for my granddaughter, he saw how this money is growing, because we illustrate it and lay it out for the client so they understand it. He said, "Wow, this is where her first car is coming from. I won't have to pay for that. The way the money is going to be growing, and it's all tax free." I'm sorry, did I forget to say that? It is all tax free. So your money is growing. You don't ever pay taxes on it. You go to get that money, you don't pay taxes on it. So my son saw not just her first car will be paid for, her college will be paid for, but there'll also be money for a down payment on her home. And when she gets ready to retire, guess what she'll have? A tax-free retirement. We actually, Kendra, call them our $1 million baby policies, because when you
Mm,
structure it correctly, your kid will have $1 million for retirement tax free.
that's everything.
Oh my God.
That's
Talk,
everything.
talk to your aunties, your neighbors, your cousins, and all these people that have 401ks and 403bs, and they say, "I'm good. I'm ready for retirement." You got some money, but guess what? Uncle Sam needs some of that money too. So you're looking, thinking, "I've got a 250,000 saved. I've saved 400,000. I've saved what all that stuff is." Nah, you're going to have to give about 15 up to 40% of that money back to the federal government. So you thought you had 400,000. At the end of the day, you might got 280,000. Where this program, Uncle Sam can't touch it. And if you're listening to me and you're wondering, well, how the heck do you avoid that? It's really simple. There is a code within the IRS book 7702 that says you cannot tax any money that's saved into a structurally program that's tied to life insurance. The wealthy been doing it for years. We want to run from the conversation. We want to avoid the conversation. We don't want to partake in a conversation that has anything to do with life insurance. Why? Focus on the word life. Life. Everybody insures their phone, they insure their computer, they insure their furniture, they insure everything, but they won't insure themselves. So if I can show you how to save $200 to $300 a month on a baby that's not even 1 year old, and you put them in position so that all of their wealth is guaranteed to never lose any money, and it's tax free, and now they're set up for retirement. They won't go to the bank to get a loan for their real estate purchase. Changes everything. I'm so excited about it. I just can't get in front of enough people to share it with them. And
Yeah.
if your kid is 5, listen, you're only late if you never start. That's when you're late if you don't start. True enough, if your kid is 18, college is like next month, 3 months, then it is a little late for the college aspect, but you're still right on time to set them up for tax-free retirement. Because that's what all my adults do. All my adults, they are very interested. Because listen, who do you know wants to work full time for somebody else for the rest of their life?
Nobody.
Right. Exactly. Nobody. So the sooner you know that there is a system in place so that you can create a tax-free retirement for yourself, that's awesome. So that's one component. The other component is my scholarship business. So both of my children got a whole bunch of money. I can't really remember the specific number from my son, but I do remember my daughter. When she was a senior in high school, I did 43 applications for scholarships. That's a lot. 43, 43, 43. Out of 43, Kendra, we got 19 scholarships.
That's a blessing.
All day, all day. And what I learned from that journey, I then teach other people. So anybody listening to the podcast, if your kid is a freshman, sophomore, or junior, we want to meet now because my system is bold, it's aggressive, it is proven to work, and you cannot wait until Christmas, their senior year, to want to meet with me. It's a little late in the ball game. I give women the example all the time. It's like going to a Nordstrom sale on a Friday that started Monday. You want to be at that great sale the very first day the doors open. So you want to meet with me when they're a freshman, sophomore, or junior. So you get the best of the best that's available to you. And no disrespect, but the average high school college counselor cannot help with scholarships. That's not
Mm.
what they know. That's not what they do. Because you know what they do, Kendra? They tell all of the kids, if you're looking for scholarships, go to this website.
Yep.
And those websites are nothing but big engines. It's called the World Wide Web for a reason. So they're going to these websites, looking at scholarship opportunities, and thousands of children are applying for them. So that means you're not likely to get them. So I tell you exactly where to look, how to brand your application, how to market yourself, because this is another pawn in the game of life. You've got to know how the rules are. What are the moving parts? How do I make my application better than Kanisha's and Sean's and Bobby's so that when the committee is looking at it, they're likely going to give it to me instead of those people? I can give you all that information and tell you. And sometimes it's when you know what not to do is more important than what to do.
Mm. True.
It's really true. It's nothing worse than spinning your wheels in the wrong direction and going nowhere.
Right.
And that's what I can demystify. I demystify it. I make it very real and tangible. And if I could do it, anybody can do it. Those of you that are on the call, I actually reposted. You know how memories pop up in Facebook? I had a memory pop up from a client, I guess it was 2 years ago, and I posted today, which was timely. I just love the universe, Kendra, don't you? How she
Yes,
just works
yes,
in our favor.
yes. I love the
But basic,
universe.
oh, it's amazing. I love the universe. So, what she said was, and I posted today, was she thanked me for everything she learned in my workshop and how she utilized a particular tool I use called an appeal letter. She utilized the appeal letter and got thousands of dollars more for her son, all because she used something that I teach people how to use and I talk about it. So it can be done. You know, it can be done. You just got to know. Because I know when my kids were younger, I thought you had to like find a cure for cancer to get a scholarship or build a rocket ship for NASA. That's how you got a scholarship. Nothing could be further from the truth. There is there's millions of dollars out there. You just got to know how to go after it and work smart, not hard.
For all the people that's coming in here that has kids, today is the day to start planning. This
Mm-hmm.
today is the day to start planning. Carole Hart, the financial literacy guru, she will help you. So make sure y'all really take heed because she's being service to the people and trying to help teach you what's going on with actually making sure your child is good for life after college as well.
Mm-hmm.
So which
Mm-hmm.
is real key. So take the opportunity to set up a workshop with her so you'll be able to know what you need to do for your child.
And because we're in this virtual world, because I live in California, you're in North Carolina, it doesn't matter where you are. We meet virtually. We can have as many people part of the workshop as or not. You know, before the pandemic, before we even knew there was a Zoom thing, I would only do it in my home or I would go to someone else's home, which meant I was reduced on the number of people I can help. But now, because everything's virtual, I can do a workshop, Kentucky, New York, Delaware. We can have 5 people on, 20 people on. It's completely up to you. So if you know of a high school counselor, a church, a sorority, a fraternity, a civil group, I do these for groups all the time. And it's a great way to reach more people because there are a lot of programs that are bound or they're focused on college bound youth. We want to help kids get to college. Okay, I get that. But getting there is one thing, staying there is another.
Absolutely.
You can get there, but if you don't have the finances and the money to stay, then it becomes a moot point. So and I'm also not a fan of debt. So sometimes my students don't like hearing me say it, but I'll say in the workshop, listen, Joey, I know you are really focused on LSU. LSU is $65,000 a year. If these scholarships don't come rolling through, what's the plan? And I literally know that you don't need to go into debt. There are thousands of schools that we've never heard of. And some of them think that they can only go to these top big schools. No, junior colleges are my favorite thing on the menu. They are the smartest, most economical way to get 2 years done. And at the end of the day, the playing field is even. It's even. You end up in a position with a corporation making the same amount as somebody else that's thousands of dollars in debt, but you're in less debt because A, you chose to do a junior college first, which was night and day. And then you had time to utilize my system, and now you've got scholarships. Because one thing about loans for college, they don't go nowhere.
Tell me
That is,
about it.
they don't go, they don't go nowhere. They're like a bad itch. No matter what you put on it, you are still uncomfortable.
Stay
Yeah,
away. Stay away
stay,
from private
stay.
loans. Stay away.
Mm-hmm.
Stay
Mm-hmm.
away from private loans.
That's right.
Navient, Sally Mae. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, but stay away.
Just stay away. No, you ain't sorry. You mean every bit of that.
Yeah, I ain't sorry. Stay
And
away
then
from Sally Mae.
and the small school thing is really important. So I had a client I met with a couple of weeks ago. This is to give you an idea. I can't even remember the name of the school. There's a small school up in Washington State. The girl, I forget how the client found her, but those small
Webble.
schools, if she said it, I don't even know if I remember. My point being is that their tuition is like 70 grand a year. But because it is a small school and they lead children of color, they gave her so much money. Her mother only needs to pay an additional $5,000. Do you know how much money that is? $5,000 every single year is what that mother is going to have to be accountable for versus 72,000.
That's
Now here,
everything.
that's everything, right?
That's
I mean,
everything.
you can do that. I mean, that is feasible. That is workable. So
Yeah.
my point being is that you've got to dig in deeper and look. And this girl, when I say it's a small school, I think it's less than 1,000 students at this one college. So it's super duper important to realize, think outside the box. There's so many schools you've never heard of, and they need you more than you need them because on paper they need to show that they're diverse.
We got a question up here.
I see. What is the best way invest for even a small return? That is a great question, and we need to just set up a one-on-one so we can talk about that. But the product, the strategy, the account that I use, we meet you where you are. So whether you can save $50 a month or you can save $1,000 a month, we can create that for you. So that's a great question. And your return won't necessarily be small. It won't. And it can be restructured later. So if you're in a position where you can only save X amount of money now, but we know that our income normally increases as we get older and advance our own career and knowledge base, then we can structure so that you can save more money.
Give me your I'm about to put down your information right here. 310.
Should 493
All right.
5551.
All
You are
right.
welcome to call me anytime. Just don't call me a bad name. And I am in California, but I am a morning person. So it's okay. It's okay. I also want to, I would be remiss if I didn't say this, that what I do in this business with financial literacy is open to anybody to do this. So if you are interested in working from home, creating your own schedule, whether it be part-time, sometime, no time, and make an additional two, three, four, $5,000 a month, I can show you how to do that. So what I do is my business is virtual. My business is my own business. Being boss is boss. And think about it. Most of us are going to a job, whether it's 9 to 5, 8 to 10, whatever it may be, and we are time poor. We only have so much time in a day. We're giving it to an employer. We're not paid our worth. We got to ask to go to the bathroom. We can only eat when they tell us to eat. We can't take vacation unless they decide. If our kids are sick, we got to just, can we take off? This business will allow you freedom. You'll get financial freedom because when you have your time back, that is valuable. It is incredibly important that you make sure that you consider meeting with me. It'll take maybe 20 minutes for me to share with you what we do, how I've been able. Let me tell you, Kendra, you would know this, but the guests do not. When I started this business, I was 56. Most people say, oh, that's too old. What are you starting a business for at 56? Well, I wasn't too old. I mean, look at me. Hell, I'll be 60 next year. I
Don't look
started,
it. You don't look
thank
it,
you.
sis.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what financial freedom will do for you. So I appreciate that. But what I understood at 56 is that if I don't know all this stuff about money and finances, think of all the other people that don't know it in my community. The Kendras of the world, your guest. I don't care how old or young you are only late if you do not start. And as long as we keep thinking that an employer is going to get it, who do you know that has a job and is living their dreams? I don't know anybody that's working a 9 to 5 and living their dreams. I have only found that dream existence with people who are running their own businesses. Why? They are in control. When you can control what you do, how you work, when you work, your time, man, that's a game changer. So not only am I offering you a business opportunity, and again, you can work part time. I did it for years. I just was able to retire 3 years early and do this business. And there is nothing more gratifying than to put someone else in a position where they can be financially free. It is a game changer. And because it's virtual, guess what? My business goes anywhere. This last weekend, I was in Las Vegas. I had Wi Fi and a computer. I was running my business and still having a good time. You can't do that if you're working at Walmart and Target and for the airlines. You got to show up and show out and hope you don't get fired. I like to say all the time, Kendra, that salary is a drug they give you to make sure you don't quit. And I get it. I was there. I taught school for 35 years. I was in the system and didn't know anything about how money works. The second I got a taste of what that looked like and financial freedom, girl, I was all in. So if you've got nieces, nephews, children, cousins, sisters, brothers, anybody that you want to put on the pathway to financial freedom, it starts now. And it can happen for less than you think. It can happen faster than you think. I just get to sit with you. Oh, and I didn't say this, but to meet with me is free. When we meet and we talk and I share and I educate and I teach and I inspire and I enlighten and I educate, it doesn't cost you a penny. That does not happen anywhere in our community.
Nope.
Nowhere.
Free 99. Believe me, it's free 99. Believe me, free 99.
Free 99. And it turns into and it evolves into the most valuable time you'll ever spend on a call.
Yep.
It's
Listen,
amazing.
listen, it's all true. Believe me, it's all true.
Yep. Because Kendra
I'm
and
a,
I met and then we had our own little meeting, and she's speaking from experience. Her financial literacy has heightened incredibly so. And we both realized that she and I both have the mindset that we need to work from a river mindset and not a reservoir.
yep.
We're not holding back, we're not keeping it to ourselves. We're flowing and we're passing on to someone else so that because when I feed you, I eat.
Yep. It's all about being service to people. That's what it's all about.
It's
You
all
got to
about.
give. You got to. This is what it's all about. People forget that you have to be service to people. You have to,
Mm-hmm.
and that's exactly what you're doing. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Exactly.
So,
And it comes back, I promise you. Oh my God. It comes back. Sometimes good fortune will happen to me, and I'll just stop for a minute and say, wow, I planted a seed and now I get to harvest it now. And it's so gratifying.
and it
Oh my
feels so,
God.
and it happened quick too. Like
Real quick.
I'm trying. Manifestations is real, but that's another topic.
I
But
know, right?
everything is real. Y'all need to the people that's listening. If y'all have any questions to ask Carole Hart, she will answer your questions. So the floor is open for y'all to ask questions. This is a safe space. No questions are stupid. You can ask whatever you want to ask. This is a safe space for y'all to do that.
Absolutely. And if you want to contact me later, you can see my name on the screen. It's really easy. My website is carolehart.net. It's so simple. carolehart.net. You go to my quick little easy peasy website. You'll have my phone number. You have my email. I will get to you. I will respond. I will answer your text. I will reply to your email. And keep in mind, too, some of you on this call, you have parents who are either my age, maybe a little younger, maybe a little older. We want to make sure they're ready for their golden years as well. So this financial literacy goes where the topic today was college planning, but it envelops and flows into many, many areas. Last week, and I guess Kendra, they can pull up the podcast. We talked about the importance of long-term care,
Yes.
and I know life can change for us in an instant. So maybe you had a caller or a viewer who last week was fine, but between last week and this week, something may have happened to an auntie or an
Yep.
uncle or a brother or a sister who now needs care. So, financial literacy is more than just money in a bank. It's not how it works. I love that question. What's the minimum GPA to qualify for most scholarships? Most of them are about a 3.0. Most are. But because I work from a mindset of being very bold, I tell all of my clients, if you find a scholarship, and my list is very lengthy on what I offer people, but if you find a scholarship, and let's say the minimum GPA is a 3.2 and your kid has a 3.0, my directive is do not discredit and say, well, I can't do that scholarship because I don't have the GPA. The first thing my mindset is the answer is no if you never ask. So I teach instantly, pick up the phone, make a contact, talk to that person because there's always a contact person on an application and let them know, hey, my name is Donovan Baker and I go to such and such a high school. I would love to apply for your scholarship. I'm an amazing student. Currently, my GPA is just slightly lower than what your application is requiring. I'd like to be able to apply if y'all be seriously considered. Do you think that's an opportunity for me? I've had plenty of clients do that and they say, well, yeah, sure, go ahead and apply. We'd like to da 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 da. But if you never ask and discredit, you could be missing a blessing.
You gotta ask.
You got to ask. And all they can do is say no. And many of them appreciate the fact that you even take the time to pick up and call and talk to them about that. But my biggest thing is that people just don't do the wrong thing thinking about scholarships. They think that if they go on the internet, they're going to find them. I know all the mistakes. I know exactly what I did wrong and what I did right. And my goal is to pass that on to you so that you don't, spin your wheels and make the mistakes I do and capitalize on what I did right. Because, 19 scholarships was a game changer. And what a relief. Do you know when you have financial security, how much happier and healthy you are? We already know most people wake up in the middle of the night not thinking about what's for dinner the next day. They're worried about money and bills.
Yeah.
Finances is what keeps us awake at night, which means we aren't resting, which means we're not physically healthy. And whether it's starting this business part time, understanding how it works, or using what I can teach you and show you, whatever it may mean, you're in a position to change your life and your family's life financially. All you need is just the right education and guidance and opportunity.
And you can get that with Carole Hart.
You can. You can. So if there's no other questions, I think we can kind of wrap up here.
Right. If y'all have any more questions, let us know.
You've got my website, and that's all you need to be able to contact me by phone or email. So, Kendra, I just want to continue to bless you from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet because what you're doing is so powerful.
And I appreciate you. I
Yeah.
appreciate you even coming on the platform and just just spreading the knowledge and spreading the love and just it's just real. You don't get this. This is rare. Everybody's not like this. Like people have to really understand. They have to take their blessings. They have to understand what's in front of them and instead of searching and searching, sometimes people just overlook things and the answer is right in front of your face.
Yeah, that's real
So
talk.
so if
That
y'all want
is.
Carole Hart, Carole Hart, if y'all want to understand about college planning, financial literacy, Carole Hart, you can most definitely check her out on her website that I have up here, carolhart.net. You can give her a call and everything. Thank you for these. Oh, that's Vernon talking. Hold on. This is what Vernon said to you.
Oh, yeah, this is my friend Vernon and I grew up together.
What's
Yeah,
going
he
on,
is.
Vernon?
Yeah, he is absolutely one of my best cheerleaders.
That's
He's quite comical as well.
oh, that's always good. That's always good. That's always good energy right there.
Yeah, he keeps a laugh on my face. You are very
So
welcome, Vernon. I appreciate your support, brother.
yeah.
Yeah. And just remember before we sign off that this is for everybody. So don't think you're too late, it's too soon, it's too early. It doesn't matter. You know, obviously, the sooner the better. But hey, listen, if I could start my financial journey at 56, anybody can start it.
Yeah, anybody can
And
anybody can start it. So thank you again. This is Why Not Us podcast, and of course, it's Carole Hart, and it's Treasure Tuesdays, and she taught us about college planning. And make sure that you get in contact with her if you want to know more about financial literacy and also college planning. Peace and blessings. We out.
all right. Bye, love.
Peace out.